friends, welcome back to this week's episode of AMA Friday with Amy Miller, recruiting in yoga pants. All right, super excited about this week. This is one of my favorite things to talk about, and it is strategy. I love a good recruiting strategy. I love figuring out how all the pieces fit together and how we can do things faster, better, easier, better, more effectively, better. I love that shit. So I struggled with this week a little bit because I definitely geek out in this stuff. I think there's tremendous value in it. I do wonder and kind of asked myself several times, is my job seeking community going to find value here? I think yes. I really do. I thought about this a lot, and I really do think, my love language being transparency, sunlight being the best disinfectant. I think the more y'all understand about the things that are driving us and how recruiters are approaching their work and how we are unpacking these big problems with our hiring authorities, the better equipped you are to know the kinds of questions you can ask your recruiter, understand the kind of information that you should be able to get from us during the interview process. And it just helps you be a better candidate. Like if you understand the nuances of some of these things above and beyond a job description, you can prepare better for your next interview. That's my thought. So we're going to dig into it this week. There are 5 things I think every recruiter should be unpacking with their hiring manager during the initial intake. So an intake meeting or a strategy meeting or a recruiting sync, whatever you want to call it, is basically when a manager opens a new role and they meet with the recruiter for the first time. We're going to start digging into the specifics. What am I looking for? Why do I need it? All that kind of stuff. Now, let me tell you a quick story here. Little sidebar. I once worked for a company that didn't believe in intake meetings. Managers would say, it's in the job description. Just go read the job description. And let me tell you, boys and girls, we were failing. We were falling on our faces pretty regularly. We were throwing a bunch of resumes that weren't sticking. We were just doing random keyword matching, which I hate, with a fiery, burning passion of 1,000 suns. And it didn't work. And so I put my foot down and said, we're not sending you any more resumes until you spend 30 minutes with us explaining to us exactly what it is you want. And that, my friends, changed everything. Okay? So I, to this day, many, many years later, will die on this hill. You do not get recruiting support if you do not spend time with your recruiter. That is how it works, boys and girls. Okay. 5 things recruiters should be thinking about. I wrote them all down ahead of time, so there we go. Here we go. Don't worry about the rest. The overview. What in the world would you say you do anyway? What is your business responsible for? What is your team's charter? How do you fit into the larger organization? If you are a subdivision of ABC Company, I know ABC Company does X. What do you do? How does your group support that overall mission? Those kinds of things. These are questions that every recruiter should know about the business group that they are aligned to, and specifically how the roles that they're going to recruit for fit into this overview. Okay, this is probably a conversation you're only going to have one time. That's okay. If you are working on multiple roles with a particular group, you probably need to capture this once and then save it, right? And you're going to make that part of every new intake meeting. Okay, starting from the premise of this is our overview, what's next? The role specifics. Okay, so the role specifics is second on this list, and this is where, okay, so I know that we are a manufacturing company who is building widgets. That is our purpose. That is what we do. That is our charter with this organization. Now I need to support, okay? That's how that works. So now we're going to dig into the role specifics here. Okay, so based on this objective, I need a procurement manager. And I need somebody who's actually going to help us buy the raw materials to build the widgets. So we're digging into those role specifics. The job description is going to tell us part of that. I get it. This person's going to be responsible for managing vendor relationships, building partnerships with suppliers, managing a budget of, $1 billion, ensuring that we have the right raw materials on time and in the right locations. Fine. Job description is going to tell me some of that. I want to kind of dig a little bit deeper. Day in the life, the right background. What does this person's resume look like potentially? What are some things I want to see on the resume? Numbers, data points, accomplishments. Tell you every week how important those are, you guys. Matters. So I'm digging into that here in the role specifics. The third thing I want to dig into is the logistics. Okay, what happens now? I understand our charter. I've got a better sense of what this person's going to do in their day job. How are we moving them through the process? What does that look like? We need to have a very clearly defined, and so for my job seeking community, you deserve to know this, a clearly defined structure and plan. Our interview process is A, B, and C. We do an initial phone screen. We bring them on site to meet with 4 people. We make a decision based on that data. Whatever that looks like. Different companies are going to have different ways of doing it. That's fine. Get that shit documented. Write it down. So that way, when your manager is saying, oh, I just want them to talk to one more person. Oh, I just want them to talk to one more person. Well, I think if they have another phone interview with the 17th person. No, because we discussed this and this was our plan. Why are we deviating from the plan? Don't deviate from the plan. Plan is good. We worked hard on the plan. Keep to the plan. Okay? Document it. Big companies usually have this pretty well handled, but not everybody does. Okay, so that's the logistics piece. Then, my favorite part, the strategy. I want to dig into what is it going to take to get the person that can do these things and who will go through this process with us. Okay, so this is where I spend most of my time. A lot of this, I'm just checking some boxes and verifying some information. Now I'm really starting to build out a plan. This is my favorite part. I am constantly trying to think of new and creative ways to engage with prospects, with, driving referral campaigns, doing some creative advertising, like you name it. I'm always trying to think of, okay, what can we do here to get people excited about this role? What is our plan for managing our incoming applicants? I want to make sure we've got the manpower and we're carving out the time to look at all of those incoming resumes, all of them. So those kinds of things are really important to me. And then finally, what are the expectations on both sides? So SLAs, service level agreement, it may not be formal. I've worked for companies that have like a really specific, like almost like a contract that you sign, like you're going to do this and I'm going to do that. A lot of times it's more of a handshake agreement, right? We've walked through all this stuff together. We're agreeing that based on what we've discussed and our plan moving forward, we're going to commit to this. And this often means things like a manager is going to get back to you with feedback within 48 hours. We're going to, bring folks on site and give them an outcome within 5 days or something. So depending on where in the process, and of course your company expectations versus your kind of individual me and you partnership expectations, those SLAs could look a little bit different. For me, in my current role, I also include a weekly or bi-weekly touch point. If your role is a top priority and you're saying, hey, my hair's on fire and I desperately need this person for these reasons, guess who has a meeting with me every week, right? We're just going to go ahead and book it. We're going to make a recurring sync. We're going to meet every week. I'm committing to you that you're going to have X number of profiles to review weekly or a certain pipeline, health, those kinds of things. And so it's going to vary depending on the role, the company, and the relationship. But you want to have some strong SLAs or expectations that are written down that everyone can agree to and say, yeah, I can keep up my end of this bargain. Okay. So for my job seeking community, you should be able to ask questions related to all of this. You should understand where somebody fits or where a role fits into the larger company. You should be able to understand the exact problem that we're looking to solve here. You should know, what does the interview process look like? How soon will I hear back? When will I move forward if I am? What will you be able to tell me feedback wise, whatever? And then some of this other stuff may not be as relevant, but know that behind the scenes, we should have a plan in place, and we should be thinking about how we're moving people quickly and effectively to an offer. Okay? So that, my friends, is part 2, if you will, to the hiring manager recruiter relationship video. Hopefully this gave you some specific things to talk about if you are a recruiter and you would like my intake form, or the version that I use. Drop me a note, amy@recruitinginyogapants.com. Let me know. I'll share with you a template that I've developed over the years with some friends along the way. And for my job seeking community, let's keep the conversation going down below. If you have questions, if you want to understand how can I turn this into actionable questions I can ask my recruiter, let's talk about it. And don't forget, your recruiter FAQ is available on the website, recruitinginyogapants.com. Templates and FAQs. All right, y'all, that was a long one this week, but hopefully you got some goodness out of it. And it's my favorite part. I'm going to go do this. See you next week.